Hi everyone, now I will analyze the text number 1, which is a buyout agreement that is a legal text. Now, as we know, translating legal texts is very difficult, so the use of techniques is very important. First of all, let's begin with the most common one, which is literal translation. As we can see in the examples at the top, whereas investor has subleased the property to, and the translation used was considerando que el inversionista ha subalquilado la propiedad a. As we can see, this is a word-for-word translation, so literal translation. Also, lexical problems were found. For example, this specific one called lexical mean, which refers to words or phrases which seem to be equivalent, although in that situation this may not be the case. And for this specific translation problem, the strategy used was translation by cultural substitution. If we look at dictionary, the word exhibit has a lot of meanings, like exhibición, exposición, exponer, etc. But according to the context, the word that fits better here is anexo, as this is a very common word used in this kind of texts. Now, here we have another example of lexical problem, which is semantic void. This includes those words or expressions that represent concepts that cannot be found in other special communities. The close equivalent may be found, although the exact equivalent cannot. And in order to solve this kind of translation problems, a good strategy would be translation by paraphrase, so the translator can try to explain what the original word means, as we can see in the example. As we can see, the original text says, or if owner fails to deliver marketable title as required by the option agreement. And the translation used was, o si el propietario no entrega el título de propiedad transferible sin gravámenes ni otras restricciones como se requiere en el acuerdo de opción de compra. As we can see, we try to explain what marketable title means. Just the same, syntactic problems were found when translating the text. For example, in the paragraph showed, passive voice is being used. And the technique used in order to solve the problem was clause structure change, which refers to a strategy in which the changes affect the organization of the constituent phrases or clauses. And as we can see, the original text says, but not limited to any documents required to be executed by owner for the loan process. And the translation into Spanish was, y sin limitar la elaboración de documentos requeridos al propietario para el proceso de préstamo. As we can see, we just changed passive voice to active voice. Well, in conclusion, translating legal documents is very difficult and it's easy to find lexical and syntactic translation problems. So, the strategies and techniques are very important as it is imperative to make a professional translation in this kind of texts, for the reason that a bad translation can create legal problems. Well, this was my analysis of the buyout agreement. Thank you very much to everyone. Nip olal to Laglagesh.